Today's the day you're gonna pay. I'll show you I ain't no fool. April Fool's Day. and that brings us to our new episode, Alex and Emily coming at you with Gag Me with a Knife. Today we'll be covering the movie Slaughter High from 1986.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll start with reading the back of the box. There's horror in the halls, lynching in the lunchroom, murder in the metal shop. Welcome to Slaughter High, where the students are dying to get out. In high school, Marty was the kid all the students teased, taunted, and tortured mercilessly. One day, things went too far. One of their jokes backfired, disfiguring Marty for life. Now, 5 years later, Marty has arranged a special reunion for all his high school friends. The prom queen, the jock, the class clown, the rebel, and a few select others have been invited. And it's going to be a gala of gore. Okay, one thing I already found wrong with the back of that is it's not 5 years later. I believe it's 10 years later.
Yeah, it's 10 for sure.
So, okay. Anyway, so your thoughts?
All right. Well, so I just
go
recently
into more about like the movie first, whichever you want to do.
Yeah, I could do my thoughts just real quick. So this is a movie that, I hadn't seen until recently. So I'm surprised that it was never on my radar and I don't know how it just like fell through the cracks because it was.
I'm shocked. I was shocked when I found out you hadn't seen this.
Yeah, it was so because you think that just the title alone, I would have come across this. But so that was my first thought. I was like, I have to watch this movie. Then by watching it, my very first thought was just like, wow, they're really mean to Marty. Like they're really mean to him. And I felt really bad for him at the beginning.
Except for when he changes Marty sucks to Marty fucks. That part's pretty good.
I mean, but poor little Marty. But it just made me also think of like the beginning of Terror Train or Carrie, like this little happy, innocent, nerdy, quiet outcast is like tortured and ridiculed emotionally for no reason, really. And well, we see how like that comes back to bite perpetrators in the ass. So I was already hoping that this is going to be like a revenge story because those kids were assholes.
Totally.
And when I say kids, I mean those 50-year-olds playing high school students.
Yes, and I have listened to another podcast about this. The hysteria continues, and one of the guys just cannot get over look so old. And yes, in the beginning part, I get it, but it's the rest of the movie is 10 years later, so it's not like that.
They still look way older than 25, and then they also should have aged something between. I had to ask my husband. I was like, "Wait, did I miss something? Like, why is she rich all of a sudden? And what happened?" He's like, "Yeah, it's 10 years later. We're going to the reunion or something." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So it does. But for most of the movie, it makes sense that they look older. They don't look like high schoolers because it's been 10 years since high school. So.
Well, yeah. What's her name looks like Melania Trump up in here, though. Oh
my God, she does.
But this movie does follow the standard sort of slasher trope, which is cool, the formula and everything. But it shows more than just boobs, though. We get male booty and some wiener sightings in this one, which is not normal. And I don't know if that's the little British in persuasion going on here, but we got booty and weenie in this one.
And yeah, we can talk about that now. So the film was shot entirely in London, England, with a mostly British cast adopting American accent. But it's supposed to be set in USA. Furthermore, April Fool's Day ends at noon in the UK because they talk about that in the movie. And if one plays a prank after noon, they're deemed the fool. Which makes sense with the Jester outfit. The filmmakers apparently were not aware that America does not follow this tradition, and April Fool's Day is, in fact, an all-day event. So,
yeah, I've seen some people and some reviews. They were so kind of like I don't want offended, not offended, but like appalled that they're like, how dare they think that, holiday ends on a certain time. And I was sitting in my back of my mind, I'm like, no, that's the way it is over there. Like it's just after. So, but it comes across as a U.S. movie. Like if you didn't know it was a British movie, you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't know except for when they constantly break accent and
it's the fake New York and Jersey accents for me.
But you're not really sure like what's going on, but something's up with their accents. It's just like, what? And sometimes their British accents just come straight out.
And sometimes Stella goes into country redneck sometimes, and I'm like, where did that come from?
I think actually she might have not. I think they had mostly British actors, but I think they had one actress that, Stella. She was American. God. She's from Texas.
Oh, well, that's where her country accent would come out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, that's so there's that. So we have this like accents across the globe. Not really, because
I bet her acting though and her accent has put her in a lot of films.
Well, I don't know.
Oh wait, she's only been in 2, including this.
Okay. I think that Skip character has been in movies. I feel like I've seen him a lot. The prankster of them, So getting back into this, so they're back at their high school reunion, but they find that it's basically the building is in disrepair, but they're already there. So like, well, let's party, obviously. And then we have some really cool deaths. Ted's stomach explodes when he drinks acid-laced beer. Shirley is melted with acid while taking a bath. Carl is impaled while trying to escape in a car. Susan is killed off screen, so whatever. Joe is eviscerated by tractor blades. Stella and Frank are electrocuted while having sex, which, by the way, that whole like intro, like that whole backstory of that being his baby is insane. And then Nancy is drowned in a cesspit. Skip is hanged by a noose, but he escapes. So, and then we have the chase scene with the final girl, Carol, but he kills her with a javelin in the same locker where the initial prank went down. Because at this point, what happened at the beginning is he was disfigured by with nitric acid. So then I guess while she's dying, or he removes the mask and it's revealed that it's Marty from the beginning, like no one knew.
I was kind of wondering if it wasn't going to be Marty, just like to try to twist it somehow.
Because it was so obvious.
And they made a comment earlier, and it might have been Skip. It was either Skip, Frank, or Joe. Someone had said, he had, lots of plastic surgery, and I was like, haha, maybe he's one of them now. Like, but I was waiting for a twist, but then.
But I guess like they try to do kind of a twist by like having him hallucinate and getting attacked by the people that he's killed, and then at the end,
you mean when they tried to do a recreation of the music video Thriller for like 5 seconds?
Yeah, and then at the end, they're talking about how his skin grafting has been a success. Why was he just now getting skin grafting, by the way? But whatever.
10 years later,
and they don't know he's the killer because since he was found in like where everyone else is found, they assume that he was also a victim, even though he's the only one there that's alive. But so at the end, he kills the doctor and the nurse before ripping the new skin from his face. Why?
Yeah, no. Like,
why wait that long
to
do it? And I mean, I assume it costs a lot of money. And then you get it, and clearly it's been a success because that's what the doctor says. And then he kills them and rips it off like. I mean, I will say this is another like trivia piece, but the guy that played Marty died of an intentional drug overdose shortly after filming in November of '84 at the age of 28. So when the additional footage of Marty as the Jester, where just in the Jester mask needed to be shot, the film's writer and director took over the role. And they do, like, a lot of people were wondering if maybe his character in the movie had may have added to his like suicidal mental state. But his mother, however, told pretty much everyone at the funeral that he had been dealing with depression for a really long time. And actually, one of the main sources of joy he took toward the end was going to work on the film. So,
Oh.
but yeah, so
what if he just like popped out of his casket and was like April Fool's? But for him in the movie too, you know, he's ripping his face off and everything, and you're saying why? Well, clearly he's not the sharpest Christian in the Bible once again, because
I like how you keep saying Christian in the. I've never heard that saying.
Oh, it's from Easy.
I thought I keep on thinking of Crayon in the Box, like that's what we're gonna say, or the sharpest pencil, or
Lisa Kudrow's talking about what Cam Giganet or whatever his name is, and she's like, he's not the sharpest Christian in the Bible. But anyway, he's not wearing safety goggles the entire time he's in chem class. I get it. It's like 87, 85, 83. I mean,
okay. And also correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, there was this prank that was pulled on him where the Carol, is pretending she wants to have sex with him. And so he gets undressed in the locker room and then everyone comes in and makes fun of him. Okay. There's that scene. But then doesn't he go on while everyone's getting in trouble with the coach? Doesn't he go on to just work on chemistry by himself?
I mean, he just goes in there and starts his easy bake oven. I mean,
it wasn't the prank gone wrong that that didn't disfigure him.
It was the second prank.
No, well,
Skip
what was
comes
the
back. Skip goes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Skip, breaks. He throws a rock in the window and tells the coach, "Oh gosh, I got to go get them. They threw a rock in the window and a brick." And he's like, "Go get them." And on his way out of his staged little thing here, he sneaks into the chemistry lab and pours some kind of a powder in this chemical glass beaker, whatever that Marty's working on. And then when Marty comes back, I don't know, is he like lighting a joint or something? And then like thing catches on fire and then the glass blows up. And then because of that, you store nitric acid on the top of a 20-foot bookcase and it falls over.
Where I guess I just I was thinking about the other prank. So they were like just pranking the hell out of him, I guess.
Yeah, and the second prank probably wouldn't have happened had the first prank either not happened or gone successfully and not been interrupted by the coach.
And also, by the way, going back to the final girl, she was 35 at the time of filming this movie. So,
holla. Yeah, because she was in her 20s when she was in James Bond. So.
Oh, I didn't realize she was in James Bond.
Yeah, she was in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh, I haven't seen all of them, so.
I think that's one of the first ones, but
I think it is too. I know that I like the one that was only the James Bond that was only in like two of them in the 80s that was like unpopular. Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love his James
Those are
Bond.
good. I like them all. Anyway. Yeah.
And I don't really like Roger Daltrey. So is that it? No, that's the guy from freaking The Who. What's the second James Bond's name? It's like Roger something.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore, yeah. It's not Roger Daltrey. But although he was in a horror movie called The Legacy, which is I recommend. But anyway.
Actually, he's actually the fourth Bond.
So it's Sean Connery.
Yeah, David Niven, George Lazenby, and then Roger Moore.
Oh, I forgot about those two.
I think George Lazenby, one of them is a movie that's not, it's like a parody. Anyway.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. So, I do think that this movie has good kills in it. I think they're, different than you expect out of a movie like this. Some parts that drag for me. And yeah, like I said earlier, when Stella and Frank are having, like, before they start having sex, he's like, but you have that baby with one of the other guys that's there or something. And she's like, that baby is your baby. I mean, like, what kind of, this isn't Days of Our Lives. Like, why are you dropping bombs like this? Like, and then it goes nowhere because they get killed right after. So it's like, all right, so cool. I guess he found out he was a dad, and now this kid's an orphan, basically.
And he tried to just pop another one in there right afterwards. And also, I wasn't really sure that he died because like he kind of like bounces and flies off the bed, and like you don't really like see his face dead or anything. It's like then the whole movie I was like, I bet it's him. Maybe he's the real killer. And he like hopped off the bed while she's getting electrocuted, and yeah, he was dead.
And also, as much as these characters seem old and whatever, I like them. I mean, I know that they're kind of assholes, like, but I like Skip. You know, I don't know, like.
Yeah, I like them, and and I did like Stella too. I liked,
and well, I think they all I mean, I think it's pretty. It makes it pretty clear that after that situation, it was something. It was, and I know what you did last summer kind of situation. Like, it's not like they were happy about what happened. I didn't ever get the idea that. Yeah, that they were like, oh, we don't care.
I mean, but then of course, while he's being, the whole lab is like burning down and he's bursting into flames, like all of them are just in the doorway staring at him for like 30 seconds. Like no one's even like doing anything. They're just like, oh dear.
Yeah, there's like, oh, oops, like,
oops, I did it again.
Well, I guess they don't want to tell.
That's yeah. I mean, that's valid. I don't know, but for Stella and Frank, going back to it, it's like, yeah, why? It doesn't make any sense unless it's so random. I didn't even know she had a baby until she said it was his.
Yeah, no, it's never talked about. It's so random.
And then, I mean, poor Stella. That's just probably not how she thought she was going to get her groove back.
Well, why would you be trying to in a decrepit, like run down old school? Like,
well, why is there a functioning? I say functioning. Why is there a bed in there with sheets? Like,
why is there a functioning bathtub?
There's so many whys in this movie. We'll start dissecting. I have a lot of questions because this is the first time I've ever seen this, so I've only had less than 24 hours to process this movie. I have a lot of questions.
I mean, I've been into abandoned schools because I like to do that kind of thing. I like to go to abandoned places, and like old schools are really cool, and they're definitely not a place where you feel sexual or want to take even your shoes off. So I don't know like what is going on.
Yeah, so back at the school, my first question is they get there's like 8 of them, and then the school is abandoned, and they're like, yeah, let's still party. And then they're like, whoa, actually there's a room that's actually set up for a party with food and chips and drinks, and wow, our pictures are on the wall. This is totally like not creepy, y'all. Like, what are they even doing?
Yeah, especially because like I know those weren't the only people that went to that school. So
well,
it's like
so it's like, why are they so
yeah, they're like, cool, and it's just us.
Yeah, and this is still in the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. It's literally the most like not even screw the most boring reunion ever.
Sorry, I found a fruit fly in my vodka. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's more exciting than the fact that this is the most boring reunion ever and the most boring party ever. For like they're literally sitting there in silence, just like staring at each other.
Well,
and
Marty.
Like, and how did they make such
lucky
a mess?
They stayed. I don't understand why he thought like that shouldn't have worked.
Right. And
like why did he expect just because he made some shitty banner and like it was looking really creepy and they have to go into a abandoned building and all this like
and
why did he think that would work for them to stay?
How did they even know what room to go to? They're like walking through this thing, this whole huge like this school is almost kind of like it's almost like a private like Ivy League type school campus looking boarding school or something. Like how did he even know they'd find this room, floors and floors? I don't know. There's a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to chalk it all up to 80s. It looks more like
I think it was actually filmed in an elementary school, which makes more sense because it wouldn't have been as big. But
God,
I mean, but it's supposed to be a high school, so.
And then 2 questions. Why does the janitor show up as a caretaker, Digby? And then what the fuck did Digby ever do? Why is he getting killed?
I guess just because he doesn't want witnesses.
Shit.
Because at the end, I mean, like, they think that he's a survivor for some reason. And if he hadn't killed the janitor, then they would have known. But I mean, then again, it doesn't really matter because he kills the nurse and the doctor at the end. So like. It was all for nothing.
And I know where we're going with this later on, but I still had these exact questions while I was watching. And even looking back on knowing the ending, I still have these questions. Like, why would this even have happened? Like, why does Susan show up after midnight? Who goes to a reunion 7 hours late after midnight? Like, nope. I mean, I'd just be like, girl, I don't leave the house after 9:30.
I know. And and she's clearly older. I mean, like,
oh my God. But yeah. One thing we've overlooked, which I'll let you can put the cherry on top here, but with this whole movie, one of the best things, the two best things about it were the deaths were clearly the best for me that made the movie better than it was. But the second thing that made it great was the music in the movie.
Yeah, which I sang at the beginning, a really bad version.
No, the actual the score of the movie.
Oh yeah, the score is really good.
You know who?
They took from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they took parts of it, and it's the same composer. It's Harry Manfredini or whatever.
Yeah, but I think they
did take parts of it.
Take parts straight from Friday the 13th.
Like I closed my eyes and I was like, "This is from Friday the 13th." It was really good, and that kept the pacing up. That helped overshadow the poor accents, the plot holes, and the goofiness. Like, while the deaths are really cool, like almost I think half of them could have been avoided or made no sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a slasher movie, so you can kind of put that aside, you know. Like, there are so many movies where, I mean, well, maybe not so many, but there are a lot of like horror movies where they have someone in some type of bath or hot tub where someone's able to get it so hot that it kills them. That's not possible, you know. But like, you know, people are just like, okay, whatever. This is it's a slasher movie. It's not gonna make sense all the time. So I think it's just one of those things.
I mean, she could have got out of that tub, girl. She just sits there and gets boiled alive with acid, and she just sits there. I was so mad at her.
I don't know, but you don't know. I mean, maybe the acid would have like, you know, like ruined her nerve endings or something.
But she's just like rubbing her titties, and like, you didn't need to get in the shower naked to clean yourself up. I don't think you could have done this like over the sink with some clothes on.
You could have done this before, like a long time. I don't know. Yeah.
And then the other death that I thought was totally avoidable is freaking Nancy. Like, so first of all, she pisses me off. She runs in the room and sees the yearbook, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's gonna get me. Let me just run away from the only other person here who could help defend and fight off the attacker. Run away, run outside, and trip and drown in the cesspool." And then he just like barely touches her on the head and like kicks her back in, and then he walks away. Like, he doesn't even wait for her to like try to get out again.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, girl, at this point, the movie was almost over, and I was finishing up my wine, and I was like, Nancy, bye, Nancy. Yeah, all Nancy, they can't all be winners.
No, and not even, you know, Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street didn't end up being, you know, she dies in the third one. I'm not going to talk about New Nightmare, so. So what were your favorite kills?
So I think my favorite
favorite.
My favorite kill was probably Joe. So I don't know why they're thinking they're gonna like use like an actual like lawnmower, like powered, like it's not even that high of a quality. They're to drive through a wall or a door, but they're fixing this lawnmower to ride out and escape on, and then so he's under it, and you know, I like the you hear the jingle jangle of the Jester hat, and then he takes away the car jack for the lawnmower and then starts cutting his arms or hands so that he'll let go. And then as he lets go, he turns it on and the blades just gut him. I love it.
I think my favorite is Ted's when his stomach explodes.
That was so cool. Well, that was the first death where you're like, I think that was the first death.
I think it is. Yeah, it is. And you're like, okay, this is what this is going to be.
You're like, okay, King, I see this. Yeah, come on, kill them all. Because if they're going to be this creative, I'm ready for it. And all the deaths are pretty creative. And like, I don't think that other than Skip, but everyone else was really, I thought they were all great deaths. They were the best set of deaths in a movie collectively that I've seen in a long time.
Also, let's talk about what I hate. Jester Outfits.
Oh, I was
talked about this in Killer Party. I mean, how dumb How dumb. But I guess maybe he's wearing it. Maybe there's a purpose because he knows he's going to be killing people after noon, so he's already the fool or whatever.
And then underneath the jester mask, he's wearing an old man's mask.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
He looks like the freaking terror train mask.
Also, how in the hell was he breathing?
All these questions, right? All these questions.
So I'm going to go into a little bit of trivia. I know we've gone into some of it, but so if you notice in the opening song, which I think is a bop, it talks about April Fool's Day. The movie is set in during that holiday, and the film's working title was April Fool's Day. However, the title was changed after Paramount Pictures acquired the name rights for their movie April Fool's Day, which I personally don't think is as good as this movie, but
that's you personally.
Yeah, that's why I said it. So oh, okay, yeah. The interior of the high school was actually a condemned grammar school. So lockers had to be added since English schools rarely have lockers, but the filmmakers were permitted to set off explosives and set it on fire since it was scheduled to be demolished anyway. The exterior of the high school was actually shot at an abandoned mental hospital. mental asylum, which has since been renovated and turned into a luxury apartment building. How freaking creepy. We already talked about the score, being from Friday the 13th. Carol's overlong chase scene towards the end was added during filming when the directors realized their 90-page script would only come to about 75 minutes. The sequence was largely improvised on the spot. I really don't think I would have had a problem with it being 75 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, I don't either. But the chase scene at the end, it was giving me a little anxiety because he was so close behind her, but not close enough, and it kept my nerves on edge for that chase scene. I liked it. And then the chase scene too, like I actually jumped and screamed when, and I expected it. I knew it was going to happen when she's walking towards his, I guess maybe how the chase scene starts, when she's walking towards his drawing on the wall and he bursts through it and starts chasing her. I screamed.
Oh, you would.
I spilled spaghetti all over the place.
That's a story we'll have to tell one day during Gag Me With a Knife. Were you guys talking about me? As of 2018, Japan is the only country to have a home video release of the film under its original title of April Fool's Day. So that makes me wonder what they call April Fool's Day.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah. Let's see. A poster of Pieces is visible on the movie manager's office wall when he's talking with Carol over the phone. Pieces is a Italian-American ridiculous slasher weird movie that's everyone should see. It's amazing. Let's say Carol, the woman playing Carol, was dating director George Dugdale at the time the film was made. They kept their relationship a secret during filming and later married. They remained married until George's passing in 2020. So, that's probably why she got the job, since she was like 35. The location used for the exterior of the school was also featured in Adam Ant's music video for Goody Two Shoes, in which Caroline Munro coincidentally makes an appearance. Oh, look at that. So I love that song. Shooting was stopped one day by the American Secret Service. One of the pyrotechnics alarmed the Secret Service, who were nearby on security detail for the president, who was Ronald Reagan at the time. He was visiting England. So they had to stop for a whole day because of that. The interior of Carol's apartment belonged to Paul Raymond, who owned a series of strip clubs in Soho, England. The exterior was where Caroline Munro actually lived at the time.
God, can I say that when I saw her apartment at the very beginning, I was like, she's rich? No, she's rich. Like, she is doing well for herself. I loved her bed. I loved her entire setup. And then You mentioned I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'm going to mention here when the camera just follows her room to room and room on the phone with her Manny or whatever her agent's name is. I got Drew Barrymore Scream vibes when she's just walking around the whole house. And not talking about movies or anything, but just the POV of it, like, 'cause you don't really see a lot of full cut scenes like that anymore.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
the last thing. I mean, when I think of that kind of like tracking scene or something, the two things I think of are Boogie Nights, because the opening tracking scene is like one of the longest in history, maybe the longest.
Yeah.
And then I always think of procedure, like crime procedural shows.
Yeah.
Or like The West Wing, because they always have like long tracking shots. But yeah. But I mean, I don't mind them. I like them. I especially like it. I like it in Boogie Nights. I mean, I think it's
like, yeah.
I mean, I can't. This isn't a show about Boogie Nights, but it's one of my favorite movies, and it's perfect in every way. So, finally, I will give you the body count. It's 13. Unlucky 13. So, Digby, Ted Harrison, Carl Putney, Shirley, Susan, Joe, Frank, Stella, Nancy, Skip, Carol, and then the nurse and the doctor at the end.
Bam.
Emerald.
And speaking of Bam, this is if I rewatched this one scene, and you can actually say a lot of words like that: pow, pop, bam, anything. The scene after when she's like defeated the Jester, and he like jumps her through the window or whatever and goes into the room below, whatever, like a gymnasium or something, and she like looks at him and like throws this spear at him. She's all like, it's like she throws horribly, like I don't even know what she's doing, but if you watch it and say bam right when she throws it, it'll make you laugh, I promise. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, not really, but I'll take your word for it.
You've got to watch. I mean, yeah, just watching it, you think she's gonna lean back like Xena or something, and like all of a sudden develop spear throwing skills, because it is the 80s and slasher. So it wouldn't have shocked me if she could like throw this javelin down at him. But no, she's like, pew. It's so pitiful.
Okay, so since this is like I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast, I want to add in something. Let's think of like this typical like prank gone wrong type movie. Name them and then rate them. So, okay, so we have Slaughter High, and then we have Hell Night, and we have
Terror
Train.
The Burning.
Yeah, The Burning.
I mean, did you say April Fool's Day?
Well,
I mean,
I don't really know. Like, no.
I mean,
yeah, it's a prank gone wrong, but it's like not.
Oh, here's one. The House on Sorority Row, for sure.
Oh, for sure, yes.
Love that one. I mean, I guess you could say Urban Legend. It's not really a prank.
Yeah, well, no, it's not a prank.
But it's sort of
and
like.
Neither is like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's not at all. What else is there?
I'm thinking of my
so
I'm like trying to visualize my slasher movie collection, and like.
And this isn't a slasher, but it also isn't how the movie starts out. But at the end of Carrie, when they put pig's blood on her, that's a prank. And then, and a second later.
Totally gone wrong. I think I think we can put that on there.
The whole movie's just not based upon it. But
no, but there's definitely a prank gone wrong. Let's see. I can't think of any more. I mean, I'd have to look at my movies. Talk for a second, because I think I can look at them on my phone.
Well, okay, another one that would be on there. It's on the same line of the Sorority. It's just called Sorority Row, I guess, with Rumor Willis. That movie. That's
I don't want to put that in there.
But it's a movie prank gone wrong. They faked this girl's death, and then it comes back.
I know, but is that the one with the girl from The Hills?
I don't know if there's a reality person in this or not.
It's like the Sorority Row movie, like the one that's supposed to be like a remake of House on Sorority Row, but isn't.
I don't know. I didn't watch The Hills enough. I just know LC and
It's that girl. It's the D-listed guy used to call her ceiling eyes because she's always like looking at the ceiling. Her name is Audrina Patridge.
Yeah, she's in this.
Yeah. But
regardless, it's a prank gone wrong. It's got great music, and I love it. So it's going on the list.
Oh, well, you can put it on there.
You can rate it a 1 star. But all you told me was to add movies with pranks gone wrong, and that's exactly what this movie is.
Well, what do you think about Night of the Demon? Like maybe like Night of the Demons 1 wouldn't be, but like Night of the Demons 2, I don't know. They're pulling a prank on the girl, like the girl that's Angela's sister.
Yeah, I'd give it.
It's a stretch.
You probably wouldn't add this one, but I would add it because you probably don't like it. But Valentine.
No.
Because they're pranking him under the bleachers at the very beginning.
I'm just telling you no.
You didn't tell me good ones. You just said name movies with pranks gone wrong.
Okay, so. I've looked through my whole thing and I think we're good. Okay. So we've got Carrie, Slaughter High, Hell Night, Terror Train, The Burning, House on Sorority Row, and Sorority Row. So rank those from least favorite to favorite.
Oh, I'm gonna need those written down.
That's why I wrote them down. Okay, I'll do mine. So, okay, I think that I'm gonna put the House on Sorority Row. Oh, sorry, we're doing worst to best. Okay, I'm gonna put Sorority Row as the worst. Then after that, Hell Night. After that, I'm probably going to do The Burning. I wish I liked that movie more than I do. It just, there's something that I just can't with it. Terror Train would be after that. Then Carrie. Then Slaughter High. Then probably House on Sorority Row. I think that would be my number one.
And then, okay. What about April Fool's Day?
I'm not putting that in there because it's like kind of a prank, but it's also I don't know. This is such a weird movie. It's hard to even decide if you want to put it in a slasher collection. Like it's in my slasher collection, but I don't even know if I don't know where that really goes. So if you want me to add that to my list, I will put it like Sorority Row will still be the worst, but April Fool's Day will be after that.
Okay, so I think then if I'm going to rate mine, I'd say the least favorite of mine would be Terror Train. I know Jamie Lee Curtis was on a Scream Queen,
I have nostalgia with that. Whenever we watched it, it hasn't been as good.
Yeah.
But better than Hell Night to me.
Yeah, then I'd put Hell Night.
I mean, there's just too much shit going on in that movie. And it's just like, okay, we get it. Linda Blair, you got big old titties. Like
that's literally, I think, the point of that movie is her tickle.
Yeah, I do too. Totally.
Then I'd put Slaughter High. Then I'd put Carrie. Then number 3 would be Sorority Row.
Oh my God. Are you putting Sorority Row this far up in your list?
Yes, for rewatchability especially.
You are, okay.
And then for number 2, I'm putting The Burning. And then for number 1, for Prank Gone Wrong, I'm putting the OG House on Sorority Row. Because nothing gets past that head in the toilet for me. I love it.
So look, we're the same. Even though a lot of ours differed in a lot of ways, we still come back to our number 1s are the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just facts. Facts are facts.
The facts of life. We're not doing that again.
Take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. There you have the facts of life. Come on.
I can't do that again.
We did it every day in high school, like junior year, and you can't do it now?
Nope. It's gone.
Well, you know what I'm going to do real quick for Jeff?
What?
Jeff is Alex's husband. And he's also, I think I texted you last night saying he was my best friend now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I also decided I'm going to literally move everything I own to their house in Atlanta for 2 days and then move away. I still think it's really funny. But
we totally didn't put on. I mean, Killer Party, prank goes wrong, and the whole movie's about a prank gone wrong.
Pledge Night.
Yeah, there's those two, which whatever. Cry Wolf is another one.
Okay, listen, I would put Killer Party like
number 3 or 2.
No, a little bit higher. I mean, a little bit lower.
Oh.
I would put what was the other one? Oh, Pledge Night, the one with the hippie ghost guy. I would put that a lot higher up than people would expect. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
I even rated it on IMDb in the year 2000 under Chica 17.
Oh my God, Chica 17.
Yeah, and it is a doozy. I wish I could find them right now, but later on, if we ever do that movie, I'll read it to you because it's so dumb. It's like, this movie was thoughtful and exciting and blah, 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 all at the same time. I urge you to watch it. Like, it's a shitty movie from like 1990 about like whatever. Anyway, it would go pretty high up on my list though, because I really like that movie. But okay, so what I'm doing for Jeff, because since this is, like a high school-ish movie.
Played by 40-year-olds.
Well, whatever. I'm going to do this for him since he liked the reference so much in the Friday the 13th recording. Okay.
Oh, God.
I'm going to get to the right part. Now, just talk for a second. I've got to find the right part.
No, I think the anticipation is doing everything for us.
Oh, is it?
Now. Because.
Hold on. Okay. I got it. Dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they need ya? Back here where they need ya. Well, BT's in my life because he got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. That's for Jeff.
In case anyone didn't know, after this podcast does crash and burn, Emily will start up an OnlyFans where she sings theme songs wearing nothing but socks.
I actually think, for real, I'm going to start like a SoundCloud or something where I post like hard to find songs from horror movies.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, so I think I actually am going to do that. So
not all heroes wear capes.
No, they don't. So more on that later. But I'm sure that you want to gag me with a knife right now after that rendition of John Sebastian's "Welcome Back" from the amazing show "Welcome Back, Kotter."
Or gag you gently with a chainsaw. Either one.
Just gag me, but whatever. I'm sure that you didn't like hate it.
No, I gave the movie or your song?
My song.
Well, for the movie, I'm gonna go ahead and give Slaughter High 3 stars.
Oh yeah, we need to rate it.
I'm gonna give Slaughter High 3 stars.
I will give it 3.25. Ooh. I'm not gonna give it a 3.5. It's almost at a 3.5 for me, but like there's just a little bit that's missing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm about the same with that. Yeah, I'd agree with you. So how do you rate my Welcome Back song? You asshole.
I'll rate it 10 out of 5.
Thanks. Man, John Sebastian, I'm coming for you. He's probably dead.
You totally got snubbed on the Grammys this year.
God, I do every year. It's a normal thing for me, okay? So this concludes our episode of Gag Me with a Knife, featuring the movie Slaughter High.
Stay gagged.
Stay gagged. And you know what? Conclude your pranks at noon. Maybe we should take a few notes from the Brits. I mean, it seems like it could be a okay idea sometimes. So Except for Brexit. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. So gag you with a knife, gag me with a knife, and gag all you listeners with a knife. Keep listening and keep being gagged.